Hopefully I don't keep you away too long. But I would like to jump immediately in the first news by stating that the Lightsaber Club is growing quite exponentially. We currently have 304 members and growing daily. We have teamed up with some additional manpower, so we got some new moderators, which I would like to personally thank in advance for joining that group. And let me see how I can see that. And of course I cannot show you from here, which is unfortunate, but the admins, you know who you are. Thanks for joining. I'm happy you guys are part of the team and helping to grow this awesome Facebook group, and everybody has a great time on it, because that's really important. Our moderators are making sure that everybody feel comfortable sharing their passion and their favorite lightsaber information. So if, for example, you love Kyber Light and it's all in your right mind, I mean in your full right to do so, and you love them, we high five that. We love custom sabers, period. So if you want to share your pictures or your information about it or your love for it, that's fine. We will not bash you and basically start a war, a troll, a war, for example, about, oh, you bought this Ultrasabers Kyber Light Vaders Bolt, why did you do that, blah 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 blah. None of that nonsense will exist in this group, because we are very strict on allowing or disallowing who is basically saying what in terms of hurting other people's feeling, or basically not being open-minded about their decision. So we are very strict in that. So if you look for a group where you just can enjoy the custom lightsabers or lightsabers in general, the hobby itself, then join the Lightsabers Club. We will not have any of that drama that you have in some of the big groups that are run by saber companies, owners. I mean, yeah, period. So yeah, make sure Lightsabers Club, you find them on Facebook, join and have fun. We have one of the moderators here is Jonathan, who also runs his YouTube YouTube page. It's just a lot of fun. These guys have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. You have a lot of fun, and that's most important for the hobby, right? That's why we joined this hobby. So let's jump in the first news. Vaders Vault recently did their Vader run. That's basically a core band. Well, core band. I cannot say core band. It's actually a Parks hilt that is being redistributed by core band in the American market, but it comes from Taiwan. So this is the standard. Let's keep it for now a little bit easier to remember. The core band kit. This is the Vader kit. I believe this is the DV6 kit by core band. Vaders Vault renamed it to VDR for Vader, and they made some moderations to it, alterations. Internally, they have the same stuff that you also find in the combat class. I don't think this version has Bluetooth. Let me just quickly browse. It doesn't seem to be. No, it doesn't seem to have Bluetooth. Now, the only thing is, let me just quickly browse through the pictures to see why this thing is so expensive. Okay, it has a crystal shards, the Delrin chassis, and the recharge ports, just like the Hero has. But this is, of course, just a core band kit. So I understand they had to make probably some alterations to make it work and fit correctly for their electronics and whatnot. But I don't know where the $600 comes from, to be honest. I love my Vaders Vault. They do fantastic wiring jobs and really high quality. But I have to say, it's already a run that has been sold out. So there's plenty of people that bought it instantly, and they just find the money worth it. I question it a little bit. Like, I don't know where the $600 comes from when I look at this kit, because of course, when we buy a core band kit, we pay around $225. That is retail, but that is with core band in between and parks. Now, I don't think they might get these kits directly from Parks instead of from core bands, but either way, when Vader gets it, they will get it in a deduct price anyway, those kits, so it won't be the full retail price. So I don't know where all these costs come from, because if I compare it to, let's say, the Vader's Fold, was that the new one? I just in my mind thinking, right? So don't blame me for that. But if I look at the Brawler, it's $300 with their own hilt, the same exact electronics installed. There's no different in electronics. There's nothing different there. The only difference is the recharge port, but that's like literally $1-2 more to buy and install. So I'm a little bit baffled where the high amount of difference comes from. Maybe from the fact that they had to install a 1-inch emitter section to make them dual worthy, to strengthen the design. Maybe that is something different. I don't see it anywhere back here, but I do believe they make maybe their own 1-inch emitter insert. Maybe that's why it's more expensive. I don't know. I really don't know why it's so expensive. They also have as an option the Bluetooth Rise upgrade. So that means that the standard crystal shard actually has this functionality already built onto the card, but it's not wired up. So I didn't know that. That's actually quite interesting, because it's the same board, right? This is Crystal Shard 4.0. It doesn't actually mention it, but I believe so. So yeah, I'm a little bit, yeah, no, okay, for Crystal Shard. So the standard Crystal Shard 4.0 already has a Bluetooth. Why they actually don't give that as an option for the combat class? Probably doesn't fit in the hilt diameter. But yeah, this is $300, same electronics, etc., same LED, same minus the speaker. Everything is the same. The battery is the same. So I don't know why this one is double the amount of money. I don't know where the extra $300 come from. I know there's maybe a little bit more labor to outfit these hilts with the electronics, and maybe that insert, maybe there's an actual insert, but I don't know if that really, that, like, I can see maybe they charge you $100 extra for the labor. So let's say it's $100 more than a Brawler. That makes sense to me, because I think both the Brawler and this hilt will be around the same price to buy from them, because they buy it in bulk. The hilt, the empty hilt I'm talking about. So I don't know where the extra $200 comes from, or where it's in. I presume they had to design and create this emitter that is dual worthy, that insert for 1-inch blades. I don't know. But yeah, I felt a little bit expensive. The price was a little bit too high from what I've seen. The TFA Flex wasn't that expensive. Maybe it was as well. I could remember it was 500 was the lowest price. My mind's, let me see. I can actually see it from here. My mind's, yeah, here, $500. Yeah. So it's essentially the same quality kit. The kit is no different. The electronics are also the same. So I don't know where that additional $100 comes from, because here in this Flex they also have this insert specifically for dueling. So I don't know, guys. Maybe somebody can clarify that for me in the comments. Anyway, let me also open the chat for you guys, so I actually can see what you guys are typing, because that was the whole purpose of this live feed, of course. Let me do that really quick. So here we go. But let me know in the comments what you think about it. Why is it so essential more expensive? Okay, guys. So I see your replies now. I see Armando. What's up, buddy? Your Vaders Full of Fury is absolutely gorgeous. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Very beautiful. Mike is the winner from the Ultrasabers Liberator giveaway, and he is coincidentally not rigged at all. That was just pure luck. You saw it in the live video for yesterday. It was a random draw. But he is also the moderator on the Lightsabers Club group. So all props to Mike. I will get in touch with him later today regarding the lightsaber. But yeah, it's pure coincidence. But of course, I really happy that he won. So that's really good. Question Max said, hey, hello there. I hate they don't offer an option for the Nano Biscotti. Yeah, I also feel, yeah, but I think because they have an exclusive agreement with Plector Labs to sell the crystal shards, it's a blast and a burden, because that is the only thing they probably can sell. They are not allowed to sell the cheaper variant, because between the crystal shard and the Nano Biscotti, the differences are watering down a bit. It still has some benefits, the crystal shard, but I feel like the gap is getting smaller anyway since the new Nano Biscotti. But that's my 50 cents on that. So yeah, interesting price difference there. I don't know if it's where the warrants come from to make the Saber $600. Either way, I had some other news as well, and of course everything shifts here always when I show stuff. So this was interesting. So we have the new Saberforge Bane, right? And you might have seen my videos before regarding the Saberforge Bane. There was a year, 1.5 year ago, and I had exactly the same issue. The two halves of the Bane are casted alloy, aluminium, and they put together, right? And you get this seam. Well, what happened now is Saberforge still did not manage that processing, and the problem is, because these casted halves are always slightly different, you need to file down the sides of the excess casting material to align them up properly, and they don't do that because that costs money for Saberforge. That costs more money in labor than creating this and just selling it as is. So it's pretty bad how misaligned the two halves are, and there's a good chance you actually will receive your hilt even with electronics installed by Saberforge like this, because I had that too. It's not about lemons. This is just a big issue with the construction way of the Saberforge Bane. Doesn't matter if it's the new version, the old version, it's still the exact same issue. And it's pretty bad if you look at it. And this is being sold, I believe, at $150 for an empty hilt, which is an okay price. It's a decent price for a pretty hilt. But it's just so riddled with quality control issues, the Bane, that I really think it's a good looking hilt, but just the way how Saberforge handles it and invest their money in that product, I feel they really screw out some of the customers. And not only a few, I think quite a bit of people received a hilt like this. Now, I know in the past we had Daniel Lane, who was working for Saberforge. He actually hand felled down those hilts to custom fit them and make sure that seam and misalignment was fixed. But since he doesn't work there anymore, the newer staff at Saberforge is just more of a assembly line of solderers, assemblers, and that's it. Because all this stuff comes directly out of China, and they just get a polish job, and then Saberforge calls it manufactured, or no, not manufactured, because that they don't state on the website. They call it assembled in the US. It's really the small words with Saberforge that are a little bit treacherous, but yeah, still the same issues. So if you want to get a Bane, be careful. You can just reach out to Saberforge. They will have you refund it and resend it back and fix it for you. But the problem is, they have no guarantee the new one you get has the same issue or not. So I had it twice. I had the same issue, so I gave up on it. So that's why the reason you didn't see me do the review on the Bane yet, because I just don't want to get some Saber to review because it just comes out. I want to review it when I feel like, yes, I want to get that Saber because I feel good with it. I don't want to buy Sabers just for the views. It's because I pay from it for my hard-earned money, and I must really like that Saber to purchase it. So in this case, because I had such a bad taste with the first Bane, I might not even get the new Bane. But let's see. So Carl from KR Sabers made this awesome chassis for the MPP, and I think he's onto something that we're gonna see a lot more. This is an interactive chassis. Probably it's gonna be a fully engaged chassis where you have all your electronics in the chassis that you just slide in the hilt, and it's also interactive where you use this small electronic pen on the side, and then you have these metal parts opening and closing. It shows so much more details. Maybe it has a spinning crystal, or it has because the soundboard will be enclosed in that whole package here. It makes sounds, it can react and do different things. So I think that is really the next step what we're going to see with lightsabers, is not only the hilt, but the whole internal electronic package will be so important and interactive, just as the lightsaber. So it will be more like the expensive Force FX sabers, the cutouts and the open ones that you can see all the intricate designs in there, which used to be only props with some lights in there, LEDs, but they didn't do anything. That is what probably going to see much more. I think the 3D printed chassis are still going to exist, but on the lower tier of lightsabers, I think it just does not cut it. I think it really the cream and egg, or the cream and bake, I don't know how you call it in English. Give it a word. I think the alloy chassis, that is it. That's where it is it. And also the ones that you can completely remove. You have your whole electronic setup inside that chassis, and I think that is how it's gonna go going forward. And then on top of here you have, for example, your LED unit, and you just pull that whole thing out, and then you have just an empty hilt, and you have this inner works, and you have so much more play value from those hilts then, because you have your lightsaber when you play with it, but you can take it out, you can pretend you're constructing your lightsaber, you're fixing it, you can show off to your friends, and it really mind blows them that there's so much details in there, especially with those moving parts, rotating parts. I think it's really going to be added, and Call is really on the forefront of that, and he is going to come with these amazing stuff. And I really have to praise that guy for him, because he really comes with the cool shit. Really, this is so cool, and this is really something that we're going to see much more. I'm really confident about that. I think the 3D printed chassis or the Delwyn chassis not gonna cut it anymore. Everybody's now getting used to the premium lightsabers, the full package. They want to see this as the next step. This is the next evolution within the custom saber industry. And then of course the electronics also evolution further and further with the Bluetooth modules and the applications, etc. But this one is equally important. Really cool. So check KR Sabers out, or Call, and you can see it, and it's just amazing. Really cool. Another news. Oh, that was something I'll get back to in a second. What you saw here. Saber Bay has this new heatsink alignment, or heatsink unit basically, that is made so you can actually dual with your hilts from core bands, because normally when you put in the blade, it's very shallow emitter, and then your blade flies out quite easily, and they found a solution for that, and I think that's really cool. So check them out. I also got some questions in the live chat, so let me go for that. Crusher Mac, and come us show your heretic. Well, actually, sorry, Crusher Mac, I actually sold my Saberforge heretic a long time ago, because the reason for that being is that I want to do a lot of custom saber reviews, and I'm just going to be honest, I just don't have that funding to keep all my lightsabers. I just cannot afford it. So I'm just like you and anybody else watching. We have to be careful with our money. So I make very tough choices every time. Like, do I really want to keep the saber, or I'm okay to let it go, get another saber, do a full review on it, and then maybe move on. And over time it becomes more easier, I have to say. My Vaders World Hero is one of those sabers that I just cannot let go. That is just not gonna happen. That is just my awesome holy grail piece. I just really love how it's constructed, how well and solid it feels. Everything about it is just exactly what I like into it. So that thing is not going. There's another few sabers that are coming, and I know for sure they won't rotate out of my collection. But in general, the Saberforge sabers, the Ultrasabers, that kind of sabers, they rotate much easier for me, because I don't have that connection with it. And one reason for that being as well is because they're not canon hilts, or they're not based on a character that I really have a strong connection with. These are just cool hilt designs, not particular from something, but it makes it a little bit harder to really connect to them at times, and then it's easier for me to let go. Anyway, more questions. Manuel is saying, I always been curious about the Saberforge, but it's the little things that like this that keeps me away. Yeah, well, with Saberforge is it's a really difficult thing, because you have the people that really love Saberforge, they're in the pro camp, and you have a lot more people that are in the hate camp. Now, I'm more in the pro camp. I do love my Saberforge, and there's a few reasons for that, is being the price point for their hilts, it's being the variations in the hilt designs. I think they're often really appealing to me. I really like how they look. But the downside is the construction suck. The customer service is okay. Actually, the customer service is good. It is good. A little bit slow, but it's good. The owner, well, the owner is a very it's an acquired taste. And initially, I thought, well, whatever people saying about Phil Isherwood, that is their opinion or based on what are other people saying. But recently I discovered that Phil Isherwood is a very strange person. It is a very strange person, and I had some unpleasant experience with him. He didn't swear at me or something. What happened was I just gonna discuss that really fast with you guys. So I spoke with him a long time ago, I think more than 1 year ago, and he already told me about the upcoming Bane, the new designs, etc. And he showed me pictures, and I kept it quiet because I don't want to leak any information, because I don't want to screw anybody's party. He told me about the upcoming Sabercore board, and it had some issues and all kinds of bugs, and it was delayed with the release. And he said, I asked if you want, I can do a review for you. He said, oh yeah, sure. So he will send me some hilts and boards. And recently I said, hey, your board is now released. How about I can do the review for you? And he say, oh no, he mentioned something about my YouTube page or something, and he said, no, you cannot get it. So I thought, oh, okay, that's unfortunate. I was a little bit bummed out, because he promised me something, and then he just suddenly bills out with an excuse. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's weird. So anyway, later on I was asking him several questions on his personal Facebook. I said, hey, this new Sabercore board, does it do this and this? And he replied intermittently. And then I asked, hey, those mystery boxes, are those coming with the old Sabercore boards, or is that the new boards? Because I suspect them to actually offload their old boards in those mystery bags as a way to get rid of them. And maybe that's why it seems like a lot of people get those soundboards, because the ratio between getting a soundboard saber or a stunt saber is much higher, so much more people buy those mystery boxes, so he can deplete those saber cores really easy, the older ones, because trying to sell them now in the shop, now the new one is out, that's a little bit of a hard sell, of course, because nobody wants the old one, they all want the new one. So I think that's a way to Saberforge to offload the old ones. He also tried to offload those Sabercore boards to installers. I was very curious about that, because now suddenly he also said they could also load up other fixed sound fonts. Then I think, wow, you have this soundboard for already 5-7 years. You're using the same sound fonts for the last 5 years, I guess, 3-4. Yeah, that's, I think 4 or 5 years. You're using the same crappy sound fonts on those soundboards for the last 4 or 5 years, and now suddenly you can load up other ones and sell them as such. For $30 to $40 for Saber installers. And then I thought, who in their right mind is gonna buy those crappy old Sabercore soundboards, because they're really shit. They're much more shit compared to, let's say, a Pico Crumble, for that matter. A Pico Crumble does so much better than what the Sabercore 2.0 can do. It's really mind blowing, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I asked him a few questions. I said, oh, listen, if I ask too much stuff, because he was not replying, I said, just let me know. Then I just back up with my questions. And then I found out suddenly he he banned me from his personal Facebook group. I cannot reply to him anymore. So I thought, okay, well, that's weird. Why don't you just say to me, dude, don't ask me so many questions. Just ask question support or something. But you just ban me without any further notice. So I thought, okay, that's really weird guy. So yeah, that's my history now with Phil Isherwood. Um, I think in general, Saberforge is going to a rough patch at the moment. I think there's some major issues in terms of what their manufacturer can produce. The Sabercore 3.0 boards, I don't think they can provide sufficient supplies in reasonable fashion, and I think the actual cost of manufacturing those boards is higher than expected now, because maybe some components are more expensive now than they used to be. So I think the Sabercore or the Champion Sabers will be more expensive going forwards. And he also asked if people wanted to buy his old Sabercore 2.0 soundboard so they could help fund him the new Sabercore 3.0 soundboard. I thought, wow, dude, you're making so much money. Where is it going? Are you making some sort of misjudgments of your investments, or is the Sabercore 3.0 gonna drain you in terms of your revenue, etc.? So I think it will be very interesting. I don't know what's going on there, but I also don't think the ASP system is working that well. Just look for the fact that in the last half year, 1 year that ASP has been out, I think over a year now, there's no new parts designed. Where are the new ASP parts? There's the exact same parts. Often they're out of stock anyway, but there's no new emitter sections, no new body sections. There's nothing happening. That's what you get. And there's all rehashed from existing Sabers. There's nothing new there, unique to ASP. So that is my whole gripe with it. So I don't know what's going on with Saberforge. They will not go bankrupt any soon. That's not going to happen. But I think they're going more to a rough patch, and I think that is actually for most Saber companies that are on the higher end. And then with the higher end, I mean above $250 US. Except Ultrasabers. Ultrasabers will always sell like hotcakes. People just buy it. Period. Because they have a different audience. They have a more general audience that just buy 1-2 Sabers and they don't care too much. But I think Saberforge, Vaders Vault, and some of the other companies have a little bit of a rougher time compared to 2015 regarding the outcome towards the release of TFA. That was just craziness. Everybody want a lightsaber, but now that need to buy an expensive lightsaber, it's taken down so much more. So it's not that easy just to sell these expensive sabers, and you can see that the high-end sabers, if there's a release, they're not sold out immediately anymore. It's often 1 day, 1 week, or sometimes they're still ongoing. So you can see there's a trend going on there, and it will pick up a little bit more near the end of the year for sure. But the high-end saber market, that is a little bit tough now at the moment. That's much tougher than the lower end, and there's some new companies coming in that undercutting the cost. So there's a few good companies that come with awesome products for much cheaper, and they basically take away all the wind from the high-end saber companies and sell a lot of sabers. And yeah, to me that is one thing is good, of course, because that means that you have a lot of new saber enthusiasts coming into the hobby, because it's much more affordable for them to come into our hobby. They have a fully sound-enabled saber with RGB, etc., for 1/4 of the price of an expensive high-end saber. Of course, it doesn't have the same. It's not on the same level. It's not on the same level, but not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants the highest of the highest level and pay $600-700 for a lightsaber. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Go on. We also see some comments, so let's go into comments. Crossmac said, "You sold it. You're dead to me." I'm sorry, Crossmac. Maybe I get another one in the future. And Mike says, "Okay, just got back." Hi, Mike. Welcome back. Let's go to Saberforge, and we got the count. So, as we knew, Saberforge came with the count. It's now for sale, $200 for an empty hilt. to be honest, I think the price point is actually not really bad for such a Cannon Saber, $200 US. Because I just compare it to the Core Band kit, the Ultimate Works kit, and the 98 Sidious kit. I believe they also have 89 Sabers from Peter Tsang. I think he also has his own kit. I think $200 is not bad, and of course Saberforge tries to undercut that market of high-end movie props. Well, high-end with Saberforge is a little bit questionable, but it's a good looking good looking hilt. Yeah, I do like it. The angles maybe a little bit too straight certain points. I don't mind it. It's not my cup of tea anyway, this hilt. I'm not so much in the prequel hilt designs. It's too shiny, too weird to me. I like the old repurposed World War II parts a lot more on my sabers. But anyway, $200. I think the price not bad. What do you guys think about the price? Do you think it's horrible? I don't know what is that. They added new warranty schemes. Oh, you can for 3 years, $150. You can add it. And then when you have a problem and you come back to Saberforge, say, oh yeah, after 2 years, oh yeah, my LED burned out or something, and then they can fix it, and you paid $150 US for that. Yeah. If you want that, you can do that. Wow. So, holy crap. So you can. Oh, warrior tier. Okay. So. Okay, well, in this case, if you extend the warranty for champion tier for 3 years, that might be not too bad, because Saberforge soundboards has a awful tendency to break. About Sabercore 2.0, eh? I cannot say anything about the 3.0, but I mean, that can save you a lot of money, because those boards break quite frequently. So I don't know, something to think about. Question Max says 200 is way too much. Well, I think $200 for this empty hilt with all these designs and different parts. I don't have it in my hand, so I cannot really say. But I think this is no rubber. I think this is really actual knurling, and this is knurling as well. I prefer that over rubber strips. Jim, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking my son. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot say. It is all CNC milled, and there's an actual angle here. I don't know if this all loose. Maybe these are loose parts that are threaded together and then with glue, etc. Yeah, you know that. And maybe this is just a shroud that goes over the knurling. Maybe this knurling runs over the entire length. I don't know. I think the knurling is this part, and then there's another part here, that curved part. So I think there's several treats, and the fact that this has screws in it, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't have it in my hand, so I cannot say if it's worth $200 or not. But I don't know. I think it's the price point is not too bad compared to other hilts, other Dooku hilts. But yeah. Anyway, so another thing I was interested in was the Romans prop balance for V4. I did some research, and it appears that this was the TFA screen grab they took, and it's supposedly to be in the TFA, but it didn't happen. And Romans Prop decided to make a hilt out of this one. Probably it will be in The Last Jedi. But since I have my Vaders Fold Hero, I'm like, what are the substantial differences between this design and the V2, the Hero version? I don't think there's a lot of difference anyway. So I'm just gonna skip on this design. I might want to pick up a V2 with the clamp that you have, maybe a solo hold secondhand from the secondhand market in the future. I don't know. I'm really happy with my Vaders Fold Hero. So in case you want to have an awesome Romans Preps, which are collectible, very, very high-end sabers, then for $265 is not too bad. Let me just check if that's just a no, that's the full price. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. So next we have some Ultrasabers Storm of Sales. So you get a whole bunch of free stuff if you buy stuff over $250. So Well, Ultrasabers and Saberforge always have some sort of a reason to have a discount. I mean, I believe you cannot buy anything at the retail price anymore. I don't know why they still have retail prices. I think that is just bullshit because they always have a discount. So, yeah, it's like those sales websites, like those American sales infomercials from the 90s where you could buy like an abs trainer, and if you call now you get 50% off and you get these gels and you get this and this. That's exactly what the marketing strategy of Ultrasabers and Saberforge is. So it's a little bit shady, and it is cheap, but yeah, if you want to buy some Ultrasabers, then that's a good deal. So, and that's it, guys. I don't think there's anything in particular that I wanted to mention again. Oh, I just got some reply from the KR Sabers revamped KR4. Yeah, that is something that I want to get my hands on as well. I think that will be really, really cool. KR Sabers always has fantastic hilts. I did a KR3 review a while back, and I did the KR Hero review a while back. Really good sabers, high ends. I still want to get my hands on the KR4 as well, but hey, maybe in the future. So either way, also a little bit for a channel update. Now we're on it, and then we're gonna wrap it up for you guys. You wanna go to bed probably. So there will be several Saberforge sabers coming, including a mystery back, then a mystery saber that I'm gonna review. Let's see what's the fuss about. I gonna put my hopes and my estimations very low, but let's see what comes out of it. Yeah, and then we have several other saber companies providing me with their saber to review. So it will be very interesting. You guys are gonna love their sabers. There's fantastic sabers coming up. Then of course I'm working with Dart Alice on my Slim Coda version 4, I believe. Run? No, not run. How do you say that? Commission. So what I will do is I will do a video log where I show the progression of the handmade saber, because I really wanted to show off what is an actual handcrafted lightsaber. Why does it cost this and that amount, and what you get back, and why is it different from other saber companies, let's say Saberforge, Vaders. What really differentiates people making a saber for you on a commission base, by hand experience and expertise. And to me, that is something that only happens with a very few highly talented people like Dart Alice, Starfall. There's only a very small handful of custom saber smiths that makes lightsabers themselves by hand. I mean, like actually hammering stuff, milling stuff, precision fitting stuff. I don't talk about the smaller saber runs where it's being seen milled, because that's also requiring a very high amount of skill sets, etc. But the feel and the love and the passion that goes into something that is made by hand, that is something so unique, that I really hope much more people is going to experience. And I'm not telling, I think installing like electronics by a saber electronic installer like Shamim, etc., and doing some powder coating, that's really cool too. But when a saber is built from scratch for you and you only, that is something that is, I think personally, the most rewarding thing that you can have. So I want to showcase how that whole progression goes and how that looks like, and what it's gonna make a difference maybe to you if you never looked into it, and if that's maybe something for you to actually consider, because I think it's unfortunately an quite overlooked aspect. I think most people just spend 4,000, 300, 500, 600 US dollar on a saber that's just pre-assembled, etc. It's different. Everybody has his own preferences, but to me, the whole, for example, this is just another plug, but just the whole idea what Dart Alice do is like this this guy with long hair, metal guy, working in this fire furnace environment, hitting the heated metal with a big hammer. That's how I imagine it, and how this is actually quite close how he actually makes these sabers, and he forges them, parts of it, and he makes handcrafted, and it's so interesting, so unique. And then you get the constant feedback and the updates. The whole saber grows with you, because it's not a process of a day or a week. It takes months on end to get commissions done. It's really exciting, really cool. Anyway, maybe something that you want to look into will be shared on YouTube. So and that's it, guys. I don't think I have much more for you guys to share for this week. If there's anything that you want me to cover, if you, for example, are a sabersmith or a upcoming saber company, or you make blade plugs or anything, and you want me to share some more about your products, let me know in the comments, or send me a private message either on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will get in touch with you. There's still plenty of stuff to come. I do feel at the moment the custom saber community is splintered, and now is really driven into a fan base which is fueled by the set saber company owners, and at the same time there is a little bit of a dry season where custom sabers are not going as hotcakes anymore in a certain price range. Under that, definitely they are hotcakes material, but the custom sabers that are certain price range and up, those are like stagnating at the moment, and some of the companies are struggling with that. And it will be very interesting, because some companies really put all their eggs in the high-end market only, and they don't have anything low-end market. And I'm not saying that happened with this case, but in this case I find this an interesting saber. I want to come back to this, and I think this is a really good deal actually from Vaders Vault. Is they actually came back to a saber that is more budget friendly. So this is $300 with a Sun Crusher LED and a crystal shard, and that's actually that's not a bad price. Even if you're not into the hilt, and for whatever reasons, and I'm not going to say, guys, you need to do this. I'm not try to advocate this. I just hypothetically say this. Those electronics in there are easily running $150. The crystal shard is not sold everywhere. So if you want to get your hands on the crystal shard for maybe a commission or installation in another hilt with a Delrin chassis and the 22mm, that's a loudspeaker, then this saber is maybe a very nice surrogate. It's a nice one hilt piece as well, so it can act as a really cool stunt setup. I'm just saying it's $300. It's quite a good deal. So if you want to get into a Vaders Vault saber, I mean, this is a really nice deal, especially if you take an LED that, for example, has purple.
I love your movie.
Or another combination of two LEDs, then you can make a Pormon's RGB. So if you take purple, you can set the Tricree or the Sun Crusher to either a blue dye, red dye, purple. You can use the white and flash on class to make different shades of blue, and red, or purple. So you really have a big leverage on color scheme there already, and that for just $300. I actually wanted to get this saber, but it's currently sold out. So once it's back in the for sale, I will get one myself. I just get the plain one. Because what I learned by myself is, and you guys maybe don't have that, but if a saber is going to cost me too much, if a saber is too expensive for me, I'm a little bit shy and afraid to play a lot with it, because I think if it scratches, if it chips the powder coating or whatnot, then I feel like I'm too careful with that saber. I don't touch it too much because I want to keep it good. But if it's like this kind of saber, it's just a plain finish. I can use aluminum black to cover up the smudges, weather it, and cover up the scratches and whatnot, and have natural weathering. And I go full out of it. And I do the exact same with my Vaders Vault Raven now. I use it like a just a random throw and toss saber that is giving me the full experience as a high-end saber, or mid high-end saber, and I just don't really feel bad about it. Has some scratches. I don't feel bad that it just laying around on the table or something, and I'm afraid it gets scratched or something. I feel liberated. I don't have to care about it. But that's personally probably just me. But if it gets into a certain price range, I feel like I cannot be free with that lightsaber anymore. And that's just me. I know it's very silly. It's a very plain looking saber without all the whistles and bells, but you can smug it up yourself a little bit. But then you have an awesome spinning and dueling saber without having to worry about messing it up. My 2 cents. We've got 2 more replies. Shadow69 said, "Hello. Are you going to buy the Saberforge 3.0 soundboard?" Well, I might pick one up at some point, but I was a little bit disappointed with how Phil Isherwood handled that whole situation, and first promised something and then get back out of that. That I don't know. I don't know yet at this point. I don't know if I want to spend the $250, 300 probably is going towards the $300 at some point. He's probably going to increase the price this coming few months. I don't know, to be honest. It left a bad taste in my mouth, and in all honesty, that I don't want to advocate a company that just is not really nice to me. I'm not really begging for stuff, or bad mouthing him or saying bad things to his face when I speak to him. But yeah, he just make promises and backs out of it, and then he blocks me from his Facebook account. I don't know. But I'm in the bottom line, I'm a custom saber fan. I love lightsabers, so yeah, I might still get it, because I don't see Saberforge as Phil Isherwood. I see Saberforge as Saberforge, where a lot of people are working, including some nice people from the support. And so yeah, I don't know. I think in the end I will pick one up, yeah, but not on a short note. I don't want to get into a habit of just buying stuff so I can be the first on YouTube to review it. I mean, that is to me not substantial, and I mean, it doesn't have value to me just to be to buy it to be the first. I know there's another YouTuber that is really keen on that. It's whatever floats your boat. If you want to get your views like that, I rather be very consistent and do the review as true, realistic as possible, and really showcase what it is. So I think maybe my honesty and my unbiased reviews at times give me a little bit of a hard time at times. For example, with Saberforge, maybe that's why Phil doesn't per se like me, because I'm just calling things out for what they are, and maybe that's what he don't like. I don't do it for the views, because I know if you bash something, it can gain you a lot of views. Like I can say, "Oh, this is absolutely shit," and then you get like I don't know, X amount of views. But I only do that when I see something is really shit. Then I will. Well, it must be physically shown. Like if I cannot reproduce it or show it on camera, and you guys cannot see it, you have nothing but an opinion or something I just say. So I try to avoid that by actually showing actual examples, which is the most important thing, I think. Actual examples. Well, Shadow69 said, "I wish Ultrasabers and Saberforge would add chassis to their sabers like Vaders." Well, it's not gonna happen. I've been speaking with Emery and Saberforge, Phil Isherwood, for I don't know, last 2.5 years, and I know a lot more people have done it as well with those guys, and they're not gonna do it. Ultrasabers is just gonna produce these sabers as they are, because he's doing that for this. This is their formula that works for them. They did their investments. They just keep a steady stream of getting those sabers manufactured, paying for them, and getting them shipped out and sold, whatever. So that's not gonna happen. People in general for Ultrasabers don't give a shit. They just want to have a nice saber. They want to have it fast. They don't want to pay too much. So they are happy with the pros and cons. Saberforge is Saberforge. Phil Isherwood is Phil Isherwood. He's so stubborn. Like, I've spoken to him about Tricrease. I said, why don't you use Tricrease? I don't know, many other people have done that as well. It's not gonna happen. He's just gonna get stuck with Tricrease, probably because he has like some sort of a contract with the LED manufacturer company for the X amount of years to buy these Quadcrease for this amount of price, and then he just stuck to producing that. That's probably maybe another case, or it's just cheaper for him to manufacture, or I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, what can I say? But yeah, that is now, because they're not doing it and they're so stubborn, and there's basically comes down to money, because it costs money, and they don't do that because of that exact reason. Because that, oh, my son is typing. Hey, what are you doing? Did you make a smiley?
Why?
Come here. My son is using the chat to make smileys. Did you do this? Did you make a smiley?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come on. Don't do it. So my son is 6. He likes to play around. Either way, it's not going to happen. But what now is going to happen? A lot of the new saber companies, including Wonderforce, the Puck Store, they come with a chassis, RGB, soundboard with multiple sound fonts, etc., for a amazing price. Amazing prices. Good hilts, fantastic duelers, fantastic spinners. Undercutting Saberforge and Ultrasabers by a big margin, and the market's going to shift. The market's just going to shift to awesome companies like Saber Trio, the Puck Store, Wonderforce, and some other companies, because they just undercutting that market, and they come with fantastic products, and people are like, wow, why can I get all this colors changing? I get this. Why is it not on this saber for $360 or whatever from all Saberforge or Ultrasabers? So yeah. Oh, and Shadow was asking, is Tricrease brighter than 12 watt? Arguably, I say yes. It's brighter by 1 or 2, maybe 1-2%, but it's noticeable mostly with certain colors. The Tricrease Deep Red versus a Quadcrease Deep Red is just so dim compared to the Quadcrease. The Quadcrease Deep Red from Saberforge is amazing. I absolutely love that color. Some of the sabers that I ordered from Saberforge recently, which will be reviewed soon, have the deep red LED. And I promise you guys, Deep Red LED from a Quadcrease LED is fantastic. Deep Red is, I love Deep Red. You should really try. When you see it in person, you won't go back to normal red. It's that amazing. Some of the colors are more or less the same brightness, but it also comes down, how is it the resistor wired up, what lens is being used, is it smudged the lens, is the lens nice and tight on the LED LEDs, is the current that goes to the through the resistor to the LED, is that optimal, blah 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 blah. Some colors in the color spectrum are brighter. When we look with our eyes, we see it as a brighter color than some other colors. So for example, the green color is the brightest color of all colors, and then blue is high up as well, and then the darker colors will come lower, and so your eyes perceive that as a dimmer color. But the problem for me is with oh, what's happening? With the Quadcrease, they get super hot. You can almost bake an egg at times on your hilt. It's just, and it drains super fast. Like the was it Saberforge Heretic with the deep red LED that I had was sucking up the battery so fast. I think it had less than 1 hour runtime every time I used it. It just sucked. It drains the battery so fast. I don't know. Saberforge wired it up in a way that it's super bright, but it's just, it doesn't. The battery lasts like 1/4 of Tricree. It's just, I don't know, it's not optimal at all. Plus the fact that most Quackrees that Saberforge uses don't leverage the Flash on class, so that's why the Sabercore version 3 still doesn't have proper Flash on class. I think that's such a big miss. I think that's so stupid. Why the hero use a RGB quad Cree, which is essentially the same cost, but he just tried to steer people to the hero, which is a much more expensive, older soundboard from NSC for RGB. There's absolutely no use for it. He could use that same RGB LED for all his Sabercore 3.0 boards. I have to say that same could be accounted for Vaders Vault. It's the same LED. It's just, instead of, let's say you buy a Sun Crusher from Vaders Vault, you pay X amount of money for that. That is a red die, a blue die, and a white die. The only difference is that the white die is for Flash and class, and the RGB upgrade option that costs you $100 more. The only difference is, like literally the only difference is that you get a green die. The only difference. The whole LED is the same. Maybe the resistors are wired slightly different. A resistor of like 5 cents, but you're paying $100 more for that. That's the way Saberforge does it as well. It's just marketing. It literally costs them maybe $1 more to make their Saber fully RGB, but they let you pay $100 more for that. I think that is. I think I love Vaders Vault, and I love Team Vaders Vault. Like, and I absolutely love the team, and I know they need to pay off a lot of bills. They have a lot of mouth to feed. I mean, you also have to think about family, kids, whatever. $100 more just to change the white Flash and class LED to a green LED, and then wire one resistor different. It's just, I don't know, man. I just leave that to you guys. But anyway, yes, Shadow. That means Quackrees has 4 LEDs and Tricree has 3 LEDs. That's it. And also because they're different situated on the LED star, you need a different lens with a different angle to shine the light up to the tip of the blade. Either way, that's it, guys. Hope you liked the video. I don't have much else to tell. My son wanna play the computer again, so he's gonna kick me out. And hope you liked the video. Next week again, Sunday, every Sunday, of course. Sorry I missed the live gaming stream yesterday. The reason for that being I did the giveaway, and I thought that was enough live for the day. So next week we're gonna definitely do it, live gaming play on the Saturday, and hopefully you guys like that. So yeah, look out for the next unboxing video next week. Will be very cool. I'm not gonna say what Saber yet, but you have to check it out for yourself. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber and sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Really helpful. Really helps me out. And thanks for watching, and as always,